In this video, I'm going to be philosophizing on intrinsic motivations. Intrinsic motivations are always boundness to the situatedness of existence of the self, and what intrinsic motivations I experience are not the same intrinsic motivations as you experience. We have different mind bodies, and the different mind-body connections yet have unique properties to them. Unique properties we can cultivate in association with only a few universal properties that allow us for the grander theories of intrinsic motivation. Though what's more meaningful is to have a deeper understanding of one's own intrinsic motivations and to be precise and correct as to parse the meaningful information within their direct perception regarding the centralities of meaning, not so much just these centralities of meaning, as near and far to these centralities of meaning are the centralities of intrinsic motivation that are near and far no different than one's centralizing strengths and capacities to strengthen those strengths. As often what we're motivated by is what we tend to be good at, and which tends to also invoke positive, meaningful emotions, cultivated through the contemporary processes that we can connect to what's happening within the moment to moment, not just ourselves, but connectiveness of being in association to engaging our inner worlds with the outer worlds in more difficult, trying turbulations that have their ups and downs, in which intrinsic motivation is most needed, and which our wants are energizing us. Not just energizing us, they're fuel. They fuel us to experience awesome, meaningful emotions that exceed our expectations of not just what's possible, but what we thought prior existing was probabilistic, and now develop a deeper, well-calibrated, as to mean calibrated, and well-defined understanding of the probabilistic possibilities, and not the improbabilistic, which are impossible and irrelevant and meaningless to the self. Only the probabilistic possibilities allow an individual to develop self-knowledge of their own potentials and become calibrated in direction of pursuit of their ideal self that actualizes specific stepping stones of meaning on the objectives and tasks that prior existing forecastings from current to future allowance for an individual to develop meaningful emotion in relation to what they want in life, what they want for their existing from moment to moment, what they want to be able to savor, and which prior existing experiences of those savory, flavory, meaningful emotions allowance for the development of intrinsic motivation, as those are the fuels of centralities of meaning that are the near and far connectors of intrinsic motivation within the mind-body connections that self connects. And had you not engaged in that direct perception process of connecting those mind-body connections, you would not experience at all positive, meaningful emotion or positive intrinsic motivations, as one would not engage in the perception, action, and or behavior that is a prerequisite, developing their own unique properties, emergent and connecting different component parts of their being in a synthesis, which allows for the development of meaningfulness. From meaning processes, one engages specific subjetivo-objetivo relacionáveis into the desenvolvimento de específico mente-corpo conectivo para conectivo, directo é o indirecto específico acepçãodades processos that we can cultivate into meaningfulness in living that's relevant, well defined, not ever vague. As if it's vague, how could you separate it from the meaninglessness of certain affects that we can't put words to and that have undifferentiated negative and positive qualities to them? That the properties are not at all to our access, and only the meaning in affect allowances easier access to knowledge. As we can engage the capacities to engage the written and recorded word that can move from the vague into the well-defined, and that can take what was once inaccessible to be able to access easier knowledge, from what's inaccessible to what's easier to access knowledge or accessible, from the development of our meaningful utterances of thought regarding what we develop into from prior existing creating meaningfulnesses of our being, centralities of meaning develop into the strengths of our subjective experience. We can cultivate the positivities of being in association with these meaningfulness processes that the self conducts, expanders of mind body, to the developing of developmental acepçãodades. And that's all I want to say for this video. Hope you have an awesome one and keep developing those acepçãodades.